Aloha, my name is Nancy Kerner, and I'm a holistic health practitioner, author, intuitive, and facilitator of women's circles and retreats for over 3 decades. I love my family and witnessing people break the shackles of fear and pain into love, prosperity, peace, and infinite possibilities.
Uh, Knowing that inflation is on the rise, gold is on the rise, silver is on the rise, why would the dollar go up? It wouldn't. Something happened this morning, didn't it? Yeah, it did. Yeah, something happened this morning. You guys want to know what happened, or should I keep it to myself? Want me to give you a hint? I'll give you one hint. Just one little hint. A small hint. Just a little tiny hint. I'm not going to give you a big hint. I'll give you a little hint. What happened today? What happened today to that dollar? Why would it go up? Why would the dollar go up when everything else is causing the dollar to go down? Did someone do something today? Did someone make a little bit of an announcement today? Did someone finally sign off on something today? Ladies and gentlemen, today at approximately 9 a.m. Eastern Time, Donald Trump, as Commander in Chief of the United States, joined BRICS. That's right. The number one gold holder in terms of countries in the world is now a member of BRICS. And that makes me giddy in so many different ways because BRICS is a gold-backed security. BRICS not only uses gold, but also uses silver to back its currency. Donald Trump has been talking about the gold standard and tweeting about the gold standard and truthing, or whatever you want to call it, about the gold standard for years. Donald Trump wanted to implement NESARA during the first thing he was going to do in his second term in January, right after being re-inaugurated, was implement NESARA. And he never got the chance to do it. He was pissed. According to people very close to Trump, and by people I don't necessarily mean other people, according to those people, one of Donald Trump's, the one thing that keeps Trump motivated, the one thing that keeps Trump wanting to fight is the fact that he never got to implement NESARA. And he's not happy about it. NESARA, in this case, in the form of joining BRICS, first of all, joining BRICS, the United States joining BRICS solves many worldwide problems. It solves the worldwide debt problem because all of the debt that the United States owes to other countries is in US dollars. And if the dollar crashes and is worth nothing, and the United States and other countries of the world, especially the main countries of the world, oh, by the way, like the countries on that list, if those countries stop using the dollar and denounce the dollar for all trades and start using currency that is not backed by the central banking system and it is instead backed by the BRICS gold-backed currency, that means the dollar is dead. Literally worthless. Now, if the dollar is literally worthless, if the dollar is literally worthless, where's your money? Where's your money? I know where my money is. My money's safe. My money's safe and sound. And none of these people are going to touch it. No cabal entity is ever going to touch anything that I own ever again. Ever. Where's yours? In the stock market? How do you think the stock market's going to react to, because the stock market primarily deals with dollars, right? The fiat dollar. I think we could agree there, whether you like me or hate me. Stock market deals with dollars. How do you think the stock market's going to react to an announcement made by Donald Trump that the United States is joining BRICS? Hey, remember last live and the live before that, I said there's probably going to be a major event that causes the election of 2024 to not be had. And it's probably going to be sometime summer. Yep. It's Donald Trump announcing BRICS. And that's going to turn the elections upside down.
Aloha, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Happy Aloha Thursday. Things are happening. As you just heard, Phil dropping the bomb. The USA, Trump, our commander-in-chief, under the continuity of government and military law, have joined the BRICS. So is this hitting mainstream media yet? I doubt it. Yet, remember when Zimbabwe came out last week? It was the BBC that we were able to get some, kind of like mainstream media documentation about it, if you want to call the BBC that. So, aloha. I'm so grateful to be here. I'm grateful to be alive. Wow, we have made it. If you're watching this, we have made it to the end, to the finale, to the precipice of returning the gold, the silver suppression, unleashing that, taking our power back in the greatest revolution in the history of humankind, cutting down the tree of the cabal and rising in truth and sovereignty and freedom and prosperity for all humans on our beautiful, beautiful earth, which we're discovering isn't what we were taught in school. So if you're new to all that, then, you can do the deep dive too. Just go track some of those videos that we've posted, and they may be a bit old, but that's all coming out in the open. Even my husband told me that one of his podcasters that he listens to is going to be talking about flat earth. My drop, awesome, because like you and I, so many people are not seeing what we're seeing, and they'd have, cognitive dissonance and think we're crazy. We're not crazy. We were you, me, believing, watching, witnessing, following the rabbit holes. We know the truth. We've been chosen to bring the truth into this beautiful, powerful alternative media. It's fantastic. It's truly amazing. So I was away for the last, I got home last night. I left after the show on Tuesday, as many of you know. And I got back last night, and boom, boom, boom. Phil's live was awesome. You could watch it on his channel on Rumble at Phil Godlewski. And I wanted to say that we are in the, this event that we're in it's humbling. It's truly humbling to see that, for me, I'll speak for myself. When I woke up to the truth about Washington, D.C. being an illegal entity, not even a part of the United States, and run by an illegal corporation called the USA, United States of America Corporation, and that our Constitution was stripped from us in 1913 when they brought in the illegal, corrupt Federal Reserve and the central banking system managing all of the money by the Queen and the Pope in the Catholic Church. The IRS, I'm curious if anybody's going to be filing. I certainly would say that my experience with the IRS is when I didn't file, they didn't send me notices to pay. And we are coming up to that filing date, and a lot of people are running to their accountants and ready to file. And so that's the question I have in my mind. You don't have to respond here if you want to keep your anonymity. And yet, why would I give money to a corporation that is sending it to Ukraine for wars, sending it to Israel, backing Israel? All the wars are backed by this money. We don't get it back into our country. And so there's a lot that we're going to cover today. We're going to cover the FISA warrants. We're going to cover BRICS. We're going to cover Tucker and what he has to say about that, and redacted. And Canadians, oh my gosh, not sure if you've heard the latest law that has been implemented in Canada. Holy hate speech law. My goodness. And you know what? Remember, I don't believe any of this is happening for reals. I believe it is part of the movie to show us what would have happened and to expose their deep corruption so that all of us can be on the same page and recognize that it's we, the people, that need to take our governments down. How do we do this? Our corrupt, illegal governments. I'm not against small government. I'm against corrupt big government. And we do this by getting rid of our fiat dollars, turning them in for silver and gold, just keeping enough in the bank to help us maintain and get through to pay our bills, etc. And yet, there's so many 401ks and IRAs that are being transferred into gold-backed funds. If you have one of those, I would run to goldquiz.com and take that. I don't have any affiliation with it. It's just that I've given up on our 401k long ago, 2006, when Obama and his dirty minions just robbed us blind of so much of our wealth at that time. And we will be vindicated, and we will be exonerated, and we will be replenished with all that the BRICS Nasara Jasara has to offer us. A lot of people, I remember Charlie Ward a few years ago called it TRUMPASARA for fun. And I'm seeing that name being made, passing through the boards. And the reason is because Trump's the leader of this movement. He is the greatest relationship manager I have ever seen. Whoever is that Donald Trump, if it's the real Trump, if it's, being played by others, there's so many times when I'm watching people show up in the courts, in Congress, Mayorkas or whoever. And I often wonder, is that JFK Jr. behind that mask? Because we know that he loves to act. So that popped in my mind. And whenever something kind of, pops in my mind like that, I just kind of like things that make me go, I try it on, I wear it a while, and then I see what happens. So with that, I want to just welcome our beautiful, the Crystal Lady Creations in British Columbia. She and her community, Mo actually started the community. She wanted me to make mention of that. And they're just on fire with all this that they're learning around the foreign currency and the agro, et cetera. So thank you for your beautiful support and messages. Everyone who's been messaging me, calling me, sending me emails, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm behind since I was out of town. I will be catching up. Aloha, Mary Jones from Mason, Ohio. Aloha, dear soul, she says. Wishing everyone love, peace, and abundance for all. So beautiful, right? Aloha, Harwunis from Vancouver, British Columbia. Aloha, Clearly Wellness. We know that is our Allison. Aloha, Sweet Kim, 1958 from Nebraska. And then moving over to our YouTube followers. It's so great that we're back on YouTube, and we do have that backup channel, Nancy Kerner Show 2. If you can't find us on the regular show on Tuesdays and Thursdays, actually, we're having a special show tomorrow. I think it's at 1 p.m. with our Wave Watch beautiful Linda. And I can't wait to talk to her and about all these amazing miracles that we're experiencing. Apologies. Did you want to go back, Allison? I would love to acknowledge those who you're putting on the scrreen.
My apologies. I was just trying to at least get him up there. I will be happy to. We got Curly. He's always first. And then
hold on. I'd love to welcome these people. Thank you.
You go right.
Aloha, Curly. We're so grateful that you're there. And he says, hey, Nancy and Allison. Yay. So grateful. Thank you. And I thought I saw Mr. Anthony. Anthony, aloha, my sisters and my brother from another mother. And who else? We have Sylvia. Aloha, beautiful Nancy and Allison. We love you. You two are such beautiful people inside out. We do our best. Bud. Aloha, Bud. Good to see you again. Hello, everyone. So, Judy Solace. Oh, yeah, catching a live with Nancy and Allison. Whoop, whoop, whoop. We're so grateful you are here. All right. And Trina, welcome. So, there are some things that I want to talk about on a personal note. If you are sick or don't, let's see, I would say this is a preventative measure to buy. And you can buy these on Amazon. They are nebulizers. And I see so many people still reaching for the over-the-counter drugs when you get sick. And most of those are just, they don't help. There's been so many studies indicating they don't help. They might mask your symptoms. They might mask your problems. The nebulizer, as a woman who used to get bronchitis, start out with a cold or flu or whatever, moves into my lungs, gets bronchitis. Ever since I got sick in August of 2021, when I was at a company picnic party at a park, and I got sick and it moved into my lungs, and I was in bed for a couple of weeks. And then I saw Dr. Christiane Northrup share a link from Dr. Peter McCullough, and you can find it. You can just Google Peter McCullough nebulizer recipe. And he actually kept me from being sick from 4 to 6 weeks, which was my typical pattern. We know that sugar suppresses the immune system for up to 24 to 48 hours. Sugar comes in the form of breads, cookies, any of those carbohydrates that aren't complex. Complex carbohydrates are fruits, vegetables, things like that. And those are good for you. Those are fine. It's the man-made, woman-made, baking for our family. Get rid of those. If you're starting to have symptoms, cut it out, cleanse your body. That star of a cold, feet of fever. Cleansing is so important. But with these nebulizers, you can buy food grade. Oh, I brought it. Food grade hydrogen peroxide. There's different percentage amounts, and it needs to be mixed with sodium irrigation water, sodium chloride irrigation water. And also you can add, I believe it was iodine. Just go to his recipe, because what we do is we put the mask up to our face and we breathe in from the nebulizer. And then also they have a detached apparatus. You can just hold that down here and breathe it in. A lot of people I've witnessed are so immune to having allergies and stuffy, sniffly noses that don't recognize that this is something that you can clean up with the nebulizer. People get used to allergies and yet go get prescriptions, go get over-the-counter stuff, and it doesn't heal, treat, or cure the allergies. We need ivermectin to get the parasites out of our bodies. And when you take it, sometimes the parasites will start eliminating through the skin. The skin is the largest organ in the body. And so you need to take a look at it. If you have bumps, cold sores, or others, take a picture. And if you're on Telegram, go over to Dr. Betsy, because she will help you there. We're not medical doctors and don't give medical advice, yet this is what I have done. I have not been sick since August 2021, which is really phenomenal. And so what I also do with my husband, I didn't bring it in here, but we buy bulk vitamin C in the bag, and we put a half to a teaspoon of it in our daily shakes, our isogenic shakes every day. And so prevention was my grandmother's Bible. She was like, well, she had a regular Bible, but prevention was the one she used with me. And she had a big lazy Susan with all of her supplements. And my grandfather, German, my grandmother, Hungarian, they would yell at each other in their foreign languages. And I could, and my grandfather says, Nancy, you know what she's saying? She's cussing me out. So if my grandfather didn't get one of the supplements correct and what it did for you, she would correct him. She was like that. She was 5'2" and she had a wagging finger. But it's true. So if you do tend to get cold sores like I used to, you can get them when you're out in the sun, etc. If you take is it L-lysine? If you take lysine, you can buy that supplement anywhere, order it on Amazon, whatever. Lysine helped me to get rid of it because it's herpes simplex. It's all over our face. And when I met my husband, he had a scratch on his cornea, and the herpes simplex, the doctors figured out, may have come from one of my cold sores, and got into his eye. Who knows? But he doesn't have his eye anymore. It's actually deflated. And he has a shell that is painted to match his other eye. So we're quite the couple. I'm deaf in one ear and he's blind in one eye. And my kids have had a ball with that one growing up, drawing pictures of their dad with a patch over it. And me probably going, huh? With a little horn out my ear. It's not fun having a handicap. Yet if we can make light of it, if we can laugh at ourselves, then we can take life less seriously and actually enjoy this journey together. Now, Curly, I know you've been waiting and waiting to not pay rent anymore. And today we're going to bring out some truths that will give you hope. That Mark Z and Wolverine, hello.
I was just going to ask a question before you moved on about the nebulizer, because if I'm wondering it, I bet other people might be as well. How is that different? Or I don't have one. All I've ever used is a humidifier. And I know that's not the same thing at all, but why is the nebulizer more, how is it different?
I don't know. I don't use dehumidifiers. Sorry.
Oh, it's supposed to be different then. The humidifier, you just put, it just goes out into the room. I thought it was kind of the same, but I will get a nebulizer.
This comes with a mask. You put it right on, and they also have small travel sizes that are smaller that you can take with you.
Okay, I was just curious. I've always meant to ask that. My apologies. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Thank you.
Would you like to go to the next topic?
So we are going to move on. Sure. Go ahead. So we have the BRICS. U.S. economist anticipates bankruptcy and market crash. Okay, so who is saying this? This is Guru. Pardon me. I thought it said Watcher Guru. Watcher.guru. Okay, great. Thank you so much, Allison. As the BRICS bloc seeks to lessen international reliance on the greenback, one U.S. economy has anticipated bankruptcy for the United States, along with overarching market crash. And as she scrolls down, we will see that our friend, my longtime friend, Mr. Robert Kiyosaki, he's a well-known author of the Rich Dad, Poor Dad book series. The American businessman recently shared his perspective on the United States' worrying direction. Specifically, he noted the increasing U.S. debt as the reasoning behind what could be a horrendous crash for the country's economy. Bring it on. Boom, 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 boom. Crash this corrupt economy, this market. So he's predicting it. And he actually put out on X, formerly Twitter, the everything bubble, stocks, bonds, real estate set to crash. U.S. debt increasing by $1 trillion every 90 days. U.S. bankrupt. Save yourself. Please buy more gold, silver, Bitcoin. Well, this man is spot on. He's been a longtime friend of Donald J. Trump, our president, our commander-in-chief, and he knows what's going on. And I love it. because he used to go to the quantum, what was that called? Oh, well, T. Harv Eker had the Millionaire Mind and the quantum program that I was a part of. And we went to all over the United States and Canada for all these trainings. And Robert Kiyosaki was one of our favorites that would show up for those. So I trust Robert and what he knows. And Allison has something else for us. She has the Federal Reserve Vault.
The
Danger.
The fun stuff, right? We're going to cover another post by Dr. Russell McGregor, but just to let you know, he posted this last night showing the Federal Reserve Vault. And if you can't see it, let me see if I can make it larger. It says, this is where money comes from, Federal Reserve Vault. And there's a little bit of a problem. This chick looks like the rest, all the normies are going to look like, what? I just love that. I think it's awesome. Then we have the US Debt Clock posting the debt to wealth revolution. Did you have something you wanted to add to that? It says, the liberties of a people never were nor ever will be secure when the transactions of their rulers may be concealed from them. Patrick Henry. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. So people, we're watching and we're witnessing this. The debt to wealth revolution. Let that sink into your bones. We, the people, are taking our power and prosperity back, and it's very exciting.
It is. And then we have a little information from Redacted. Let's add that here.
Policing hate crimes, they cannot focus on actual crimes, which means that societies with these policies will be less safe as a result. Who would have thought? Anyone who thought this through would have thought. Everyone that warned against these hate crime bills. Now, we have two cautionary tales about this. First of all, Scotland, which implemented a hate crime bill this month, and Canada, which will soon police even nice feelings. They're going to police your feelings now.
Thank
so
God.
If you think nicely about something that they want to demonize, they are going to make that against the law. Watch.
So tell me Canada isn't a communist country without telling me Canada isn't a communist country. I'll go first. Recently, some asshole on the NDP is introducing a new bill called C-372, also known as the Fossil Fuel Advertisement Act. And not only does it ban all advertising for our Canadian oil and gas companies, if you are a Canadian and you are caught speaking well of or promoting our oil and gas, could be a social media post, it could be a t-shirt with I love oil and gas on it, or a bumper sticker, anything like that, you can face up to 2 years in jail and a $500,000 fine. We all know that climate change is one of the biggest hoaxes out there, but this is our Canadian government.
Oh my God, Canada, you have lost. You know what I want to do right now?
They lost the plot, you guys.
I want to team here at Redacted. Can we please make a T-shirt that says "I love fossil fuels" and can we sell it in Canada?
I don't think we can.
Our Redacted store right now.
Well, right now we still can.
Come.
I'm curious if any of the Canadians have seen that. I thought it was very profound that you could be arrested and fined up to $500,000 for saying, I love oil and gas. Are you kidding me? And I don't believe it will happen. So let's align our minds that this exposure is coming out so great. And I know that the next thing we're going to talk about is our BRICS. I believe that's what Allison has ready, unless it's... Show us what you have, Allison. I've got so many scratched notes here.
Actually, we just I did the BRICS article.
Oh.
And so, I mean, you did that, you read that. Then we have a little bit on the Iowa passing law, the article. Let me pull that up.
Okay, great. Thank you.
I'll-
So when
I'll-
I read this morning, I wanted to remind everyone that Texas has done this too. They can, right? They have passed a law as well. And so now Iowa's jumping on to arrest illegal immigrants. We are not anti-brown skinned people. We are anti illegal immigration. Come over the border and go through the process and get your citizenship the right way.
There's a little clip here if you want me to play that.
Okay.
It will. But let's.
Psychopaths? Well, it's because there's college professors who are leftist psychopaths themselves. In today's video, we will be reacting to Charlie Kirk, who takes on one of these pro-leftist professors. Hey guys, this is Isabella Moody from Resist the Mainstream. Make sure you like today's video, comment down below, subscribe to our channel, support our mission, guys. Subscribe. It's very important because, you know, YouTube doesn't like accounts that push. Yeah, let's just see Charlie Kirk absolutely embarrass this leftist professor. Let's watch.
Hi. So I just wanted to know what your take was.
Oh, I apologize. My apologies. It just cut off. We'll
Newfound
just move on.
evidence.
They didn't want to cooperate. Jeez. don't
Okay,
understand.
so
Like Apologies.
we had Judy ask, I think it was Judy who asked a question. She
Yes.
asked, thank you, clearly truth. Will I get Nasara since I am in bankruptcy? Absolutely. Yes, you will.
Yeah.
Because that was instilled upon you from the corrupt corporation.
Yeah, I tried to answer quickly, but it's very important for everyone to understand what we've been operating on the whole time since 1871, since they did their business with taking our country. It actually is under Admiralty law. That's why you see the gold fringe around the flags. It's done differently than constitutional common law. It's total God's law. It's totally not in alignment with that. So that will be corrected, right?
So Curly says, I heard how much the payment might be for 62 and older. We did a whole show on that, showing how much you would get. And so many of you are seeing some things across the boards. Okay, I would like to go over the Q drop that I was sharing with you and all the hashtag FISA. My goodness, this is so exciting because, okay, so those of you who don't understand Q drops, Q is a military communication system put out so that we could know what was going on, you know, beginning in 2017 with the first Q drop. And it's basically telling us that use the alphabet, A, B, C. Each letter is assigned a number. A is 1, B is 2, 3 is C, and continue that. And so all the decodes have been provided for us. And that's why so many people think we're crazy, because we follow the decodes, we follow the military, we follow the truth, not what MSM is saying. No way, Jose. So Trader Girl Q dropped a bombshell. She said, wow, we finally reached the same timeline. And you may not be able to see this in light blue. It's highlighted hashtag FISA. Q post 3921, April 10th. FISA indictment start. And then it has the letter 17. And I think that then that she has Q post 3934, April 10th. So notice these were drops yesterday. Placeholder, indictments tracking FISA public. Q post 1120, April 10th, Tuesday, US start. That's today. Yes, well, that was on Tuesday. 2 days ago. Are we on the 12th? I'm not sure what day today is. Q post 1083, April 8th, the start. Q post 1127 and 1109, April 9/11, April showers. A week to remember, dark to light. So I think that we're going to go into some bigger graphics of showing. Do you have the other one with the map first? I wanted to come back to this one after we did the map. However, I'll just go ahead and, okay, there we go. This one, I love this. Go back up, please. This was posted by Dr. Russell McGregor. If Q is a LARP, then why are all these reps simultaneously tweeting FISA on the exact 4-year delta? Q drop 3921, military precision. So in this top little rectangular box, that's the Q drop date and number. So at the upper left hand side, you can see the number, and then it has the date in there too. So this is, I can't read all the names of everybody when we'll go back to that, but just notice all these little threads and lines going to each one. And then they, pardon me, I'm getting distracted. So all these lines are going to what they are saying, and they are saying to, where's the big post?
Well, do you want me to read this? Because I can see it. It's
FISA indictments. Pardon me. Get a warrant. That's the hashtag.
Wow.
Or get a warrant, hashtag FISA. So
Yes.
they all drop that at the same time. So if you run over to that other post that you had put up there previously, we could see the lineage of that. We see Representative Andy Briggs, Representative Jordan, Dan Bishop, Lauren Bobet, Matt Rosendale, Chip Roy, press office, Representative Eric Burleson, and Andy Ogles. My goodness, people, this is a huge, huge drop and boom to show us we are going to see that coming out. This is going to happen. And remember Phil's shirt that said Supreme, he's talking about the Supreme Court. We're watching for the Brunson case. We're watching for these indictments. And it looks like Miss Allison has something. Okay, there. I love that. Okay. This one actually shows, and it's been underlined by someone who posted this. There we go. FISA start April 10th. FISA indictments start. Public justice. And then, of course, it goes into reading the rest of the events that are going to be unlocked. So I'm not going to repeat think every time, but just think CEO departures, think FBI departures, DOJ departures, state departures, White House departures, DIA departures, Pentagon departures, Senate departures, House departures, AMB departures, IG departures, judge install, SC install, WH install, FBI install, C_A install, think DOJ install, USATT install. So he says this is not a LARP. Q is not a LARP. This is what has been going on since 2017 under the cloak of the military control. And if you don't see that, then you may still be watching and believing in MSM lamestream lies that they're putting out. They're just scared and shaking in their boots because TRUMPASARA is coming in. And the stock market is about to take we've been watching it all week. And, from last week, we'll see down 500, up a little bit, down, up. So it's doing exactly what Phil told us it would do over a year ago. And so is he excited? What did he say? He said, I'm giddy. Are you giddy yet? I am completely giddy. Okay, now go ahead. Aloha.
I just had a question from somebody that in Rumble, I think it was Carla. She was asking, what does FISA stand for? And I thought, well, maybe other people don't know either. It's Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. And you're going to learn a lot about it in just a moment because we're going to share it. It's a perfect setup for a clip from Tucker Carlson. And it is about 10 minutes, but we're going to split it up and kind of go through the first part, and then Nancy will respond, unless you have others that you want to respond to.
I just want to say to the Crystal Lady Creations in Canada, she says, I am gritty.
That goes for me without saying. I love it.
Beautiful. Well, okay, so this is, how long is this going to be? It's several minutes long, right?
Right.
Or
It's
you're
10
going to
minutes.
break it up? Or-
Yeah, it's 10 minutes in its entirety, but about, I don't know, 5 to 7 minutes. I'm not sure where it is, but we'll cut it off and take any questions or make any comments you have, if that's good with you.
Great, thank you. Let's
Oh.
roll.
Okay, let's get her on the board. And one more thing.
We learned conclusively that, in fact, the FBI and the federal intel agencies, the dozen or more federal intel agencies we have for some reason, had been working secretly against Donald Trump's presidential campaign. Trump had whispered about this, then shouted about it, and was roundly denounced as a conspiracy nut, a lunatic. But in the end, he was vindicated. It was true. These agencies spied on Trump, and they leaked some of what they'd learned to the media, which used it against Trump. Then these agencies concocted false stories about Trump. They tried to crush Trump completely in 2016, and then for the entire course of his presidency. Then they did the same thing in 2020 during the presidential election, and they're doing it still. They're trying to put him in prison for the rest of his life. So if you take 3 steps back, what you have here is what we're seeing now. For the third time in 3 consecutive cycles, secretive federal agencies are trying to rig our presidential election. This is what the Democrats refer to as democracy, and they're trying to defend it. But of course, it's the opposite of democracy. It's in fact the end of democracy in any semblance of a constitutional republic we ever had. If you have a secret police force threatening people, spying on them, and working secretly the levers of political power, then you don't have a democracy. You have no control over really anything as a voter. So if there's one thing the Republican Party, the opposition party, should be doing in response to this, right now, it's fighting back against this descent into totalitarianism. They should be working to return freedom and democracy to the country. They should defend the Constitution. They should rein in these agencies, Washington's secret police. But you will not be surprised to learn they've been busy doing just the opposite. So if you're wondering why no one has gone to prison for any of this, now that we know it actually happened, well, the reason is in part a law called FISA, the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. It's been around a long time. Teddy Kennedy first proposed it, by the way, back in the mid-1970s. And that law allows the federal government to spy without a warrant on foreigners outside the borders of the country. And the idea is bad people are doing bad things against us. We need to know what they are, and we can't bother to go to a court to get a warrant every time we want to know. But it will never be used against American citizens. Well, of course, now that we know it has been at scale. But that law, FISA, has made it possible. So that law is now up for reauthorization in the House of Representatives. And amazingly, the new Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson of Louisiana, has spent the last couple of weeks doing all he can to get that law reauthorized. In other words, to allow the federal agencies to continue to spy upon and punish people who disagree with him. In other words, Mike Johnson's own party, Republicans, Trump voters. Mike Johnson has been working to do that. And that effort failed today because members of Congress heard from their constituents or came to their senses, saw the truth in a dream. Whatever happened, they stopped Mike Johnson from doing that for the moment. So that's a good thing, and you ought to be celebrating it, even if you didn't know it was happening. And a lot of people didn't because it got very little media coverage. But of course, this is a temporary victory, like all bad things, like that chlamydia you got in a hot tub in Cabo in college. It will come back. This attempt to spy on you, an American citizen, without a warrant because you've been politically disobedient. Why will it come back? Because it's what they really care about. And so before it does come back, it's worth just a very quick autopsy on what just happened. What did we just see so we can learn a couple of important lessons? And the first lesson we're going to learn is that a lot of powerful people in the Congress are liars. They lie without shame, in fact, with pride, and they do so at the behest of, or because of blackmail instituted by, the intel agencies. And at the head of that list would be the chairman of the House Intel Committee, Mike Turner of Ohio. We're going to play you a clip from Mike Turner of Ohio saying exactly the opposite of what is true. Here is Mike Turner reassuring you that FISA would never, under the FISA law, the U.S. government would never be allowed to spy on you without a warrant because that's unconstitutional. It's never happened. It never will happen. And if you think otherwise, you're probably one of those UFO-believing nut jobs who ought to stop doing ayahuasca. Here's House Intel Committee, pawn of the intel agencies, Mike Turner of Ohio.
We're not surveilling foreigners in the United States. We're not surveilling Americans in the United States. Those individuals who say that this is a warrantless search of Americans' data are just not telling the truth. These are foreigners abroad. They're a select group of individuals who are a national security threat. If you're an American and you're corresponding with ISIS, yes, if we're spying on ISIS, your communications are going to be captured. You would want us to do that. All Americans would want us to try to make certain that we keep ourselves safe from these outside terrorist groups and organizations. We are not spying on Americans. This is not a warrantless surveillance program. This is foreigners who are abroad only.
Every word of that a lie. And we don't need to guess. And I hate to use that pronoun, but I specifically don't need to guess because that actually happened to me. The NSA broke into my text messages, read them, passed them to news organizations in order to discredit me, and then admitted that they did that, admitted that they spied on me. And they did it under FISA because I was daring to text with a foreigner outside our borders. So Mike Turner knows that. He's the chairman of the Intel Committee. He knows he's lying, but he's doing it anyway because it's that important to preserve that core power. If you have the power to spy on someone and then to leak the information that you gather or manipulate it and then leak it in order to control that person, that's a major power. In fact, it's a bigger power than any voter in this country has. And so it should.
The Patriot Act was adopted. My husband threw a tissy fit, and I couldn't understand why. I thought, well, if you don't have anything to hide, why would you care? And, I was ignorant then. He knew they would take this power to the ultimate corruption, and they did. And so Allison has part 2 to play, the second part, and we'll just keep going on into that because this is so big. We knew it. We watched it in live time, and it's great that Tucker's covering it.
Shouldn't surprise you that they want to keep that power. And they want to keep it so badly that over the last week, U.S. government officials did something that may not have precedent in Washington. They lobbied members of Congress directly. In the words they used in Washington, they whipped the bill. Officials from the Department of Justice called, among others, Chip Roy of Texas to demand that he vote for FISA reauthorization. Imagine that. DOJ, Department of Justice, the federal law enforcement agency, called Chip Roy and said, you got to do this. Think about that. Is there any group in this country more powerful than the Department of Justice? They can put you in jail, and they've shown a willingness to do that. They could put kiddie porn on your computer. They've probably done that too. And everybody who serves in Congress knows that. And everybody's afraid of them, along with the CIA and NSA and a bunch of other 3-letter agencies. Members of Congress are afraid of them because they know the consequences of disobedience. And so for them to call directly a member of Congress, they'd be like the FBI coming to your house on election day and demanding that you vote for their designated candidate. And then having access to the record of who you actually voted for, as they do in the Congress. Can you imagine? You'd be highly motivated to vote for their candidate, wouldn't you? Yes, you would. So they're willing to do anything to get this enshrined in law because it gives them legal cover to subvert democracy, which is their program, of course. And everybody knows it. Mike Johnson knows it, but he's not telling his conference that, his fellow Republicans. In a meeting today with his Republican conference on Capitol Hill, Mike Johnson said, you must vote for this, and you must vote for it because America hangs in the balance. And if you had the intelligence that I've seen in my classified briefings, which you cannot see, you would know that it's your moral responsibility to vote for this. And by the way, if you don't vote for it, Americans will die. Johnson didn't mention that the FISA law, warrantless spying, did not prevent 9/11 or the Cole bombing or any major act of terror in the last 50 years, almost 50 years that we've had it. No, I mean, it's ridiculous on its face. But why is Mike Johnson saying this? Well, there are only 2 possible explanations. One is that he's just stupid and doesn't know and believes his intel briefers. Every person who has spent any time in DC knows the intel briefing, the classified intel briefing in the SCIF is merely a leash. It's a collar around your neck connected to a chain. And the other hand is your handler from some federal agency with a black budget whose total you can't know. Of course, it's a way to control you, giving you information that you can't repeat to anyone else, that you have no way of verifying, and telling you that if you don't go along with the program, Americans will die. Right. So he either doesn't know that that's the way things actually work in DC. Oh, of course, Saddam has weapons of mass destruction. You want to get America vaporized in a nuclear attack? Invade, et cetera, et cetera. Many precedents for this. I mean, it's the oldest story there is. Either he doesn't know that, or there's another agenda. We can't know for certain. But consider this. Mike Johnson has been Speaker of the House for not very long, just several months now. He got the job accidentally. And in the time that he's had it, what have his priorities been? Well, there have been two big ones, two issues on which he's willing to call his fellow Republicans into the room and say, you have to do this. The first one is Ukraine funding. And he's done that again and again. Either we send another $60 billion to Ukraine, or he implies American soldiers will have to fight in Ukraine because we're going to prevent Putin from rolling into San Antonio or whatever. Of course, all untrue, in fact, ridiculous, but that's what he said, in effect. Ukraine funding has been his top priority. And his second this week was more warrantless spying on Americans. Well, what's interesting is that those are also Joe Biden's top priorities. Those are not the top priorities of Republican voters. They're not the top priorities of American voters. Look at the public opinion polling. It's available on Google. No, those are Joe Biden's priorities because both expand his power. So what's interesting is that the Republican Speaker of the House shares those priorities, not closing the border. He didn't call his conference in to say, shut down the border tomorrow because 70% of Americans are demanding that. And 100% of our own voters are demanding that. And that will save this country from certain destruction. He didn't say that. He said the number one thing we need to do is continue to have the legal right to spy unconstitutionally on American citizens without bothering to get a warrant. And again, is it an accident that's Joe Biden's top priority too after Ukraine, which he's still pushing? We'll let you decide. But the bottom line is, over time, people who don't live in Washington don't know the complexities of the process, who aren't impressed by Johnson's claim, I've only got a one-seat majority. I have to do this. People are looking at this cold, with just the big facts available, will start to notice that the priorities of one party mirror the priorities of the other party. And they may ask themselves two questions. First, who's got my priorities top of mind? And second, why even bother with the Republican Party if all they're going to do is ratify what Joe Biden wants? And they may ask that question really soon. Let's hope they do.
Okay, so the biggest takeaway is that you need to know your Constitution. And I want to thank Chris Johnson for giving my husband and I this gift when we were at his house last summer. And it's the U.S. Constitution and other writings. It is so simply printed, and it goes over all of the amendments and changes and the intent of the original Constitution. That's a really good book. And if you want to read another really good book, my book, The Power of Sexy Relationships, Stories from the Heart to Live Your Passions and Embrace Your Purpose. The picture on the back is me in my 40s. Let's see. How do we look now? It's reversed. 40s, where I was 60 pounds heavier, or 64. So this book, the reason that I bring up this book is because my friend just called me and said she ordered it. She's reading it. She's loving it. That's Michelle. She has the most beautiful Southern accent. I got to meet her on the phone yesterday. And thank you, Michelle, for the call. I so appreciate you. And I appreciate everyone who's reaching out to me. Follow me on Telegram. My Telegram channel is fast and furious, so you may want to mute your notifications and then come on it. This is what I do with the people I follow. And I'll come on and they'll have 200 new posts, especially being away for a couple days. So this is where we can have personal conversations. You'll get cue drops from me because I am passionate about explaining what the Anons like Jeremy, Princess Patriot, Phil, and others are saying and decoding for us on Telegram. So we welcome you. Thank you. And welcome to all of our new subscribers. We're here to be in service to you. That is our ultimate mission, or my personal ultimate mission, is to be in service to our beautiful community that is growing and thriving. In fact, I wanted to just highlight that James said, let's see, where's he watching? YouTube. He said, Nancy, hi, your friend does not know how the nebulizer works. Explain to her that a prorated amount of liquid ingredients are pressurized through a specialized nozzle, which atomizes into vapor. Thank you so much, James. And also, we know that if you are taking vitamin D3 and zinc and quercetin, the quercetin needs the vitamin or pardon me, it needs the zinc in order to activate it within the cells. So remember that there are protocols, and we have beautiful, powerful people in the medical field. Like I mentioned, Dr. Betsy on Telegram. We need to have her back. I'll have to reach out to her. In the meantime, we will have the beautiful Linda, as I said earlier, on tomorrow for a special edition, because people, if you're still looking to the doctors when you get sick, people go, oh, go to the doctor, go to the doctor. That's the last place I want to be, is in the medical system. We have alternative solutions for everything. The doctors, the American Medical Association is not our friend. They want us sick and dying. They don't treat, heal, or cure anything through their cancer protocols. In fact, if you look at cancer, you'll find out it is a parasite. It can be eliminated from the body. And I learned in 1986, cancer are cells that have gone wonky. Well, we know so much more now, especially after COVID, because they did not want us to use ivermectin or hydrochloroquine or nebulizers or anything that was going to help treat us. We have to take a look at what we're ingesting, what we're taking for medications. And I'm not saying go off steroids if you're on them cold turkey, yet you can begin to make the transition. And diabetes type 2 totally comes from the food that we're ingesting. So we have frequency healing, and we also need to be responsible stewards of our body. And so I'm helping people to get onto isogenics, to do the mineral cleanse. Yes, periodic cleanses and 17-hour cleanses are great. When you go 2 days on a mineral cleanse, that autophagy that's activated from the absence of extra food coming into your body is stronger and more effective as a result of that second day, 48 hours. And you can work up to that. You don't have to think, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can do that. Yet we are also practicing managing our mind frick. I can't do that. I have to have food. I eat 3 meals a day. Well, I ask people to write down all of their symptoms and medications of what you're taking, because I've seen thousands and thousands of people since 2004, 3 or 4, actually heal their bodies from these medical terms that we have given ourselves. And don't get attached to it. My diabetes, my cancer, my whatevers, how we speak to our bodies, our tissues and cells respond to that. They respond to the frequency and energy that we're emitting. And so that's why holistic health is mental, emotional, physical, financial, nutritional. Oh my goodness. We're relational. That's what I was trying to think of, relational. We are bringing the paradigm of whole health back into our lives. And when we go to the med beds, are you going just saying, oh, fix me, help me, treat me, heal me, because I can't do it myself? I want to encourage you. I want to empower you that you can. If I can, raised on sugar, licorice, soda pop, hot dogs, crap food, my entire childhood and into early adulthood. My grandmother was my biggest source of nutritional information. And yet even she didn't know. She didn't know that Crisco oil was bad. People who are still using margarine, or I can't believe it's not butter, those things have plastics in them. What we're putting into our mouths is affecting our brain's ability to function. Yesterday, my beautiful daughter-in-law ordered breakfast to go and had it delivered to the house. And I, just ate a little bit of it, because when we eat big breakfasts, we get tired. We need a nap by noon. It depletes us of our energy. And so especially when there's lots of carbs like potatoes. So if you're having eggs and meat, or eggs and protein of your choice, if you're vegetarian or vegan or whatever, just make sure that you are reducing your breads, your cakes, your cookies, that's like crack for me. And if it's in the house, it goes in my mouth. So we clean out our cupboards, we make a decision, we get the products, the nutraceuticals that'll help restore us and reverse that aging process within our body minds. Yes, we need doctors for help. I couldn't walk. I needed the hip replacements. I tried chiropractic. I've been going to chiropractic since I was in my 20s when I was working construction, lifting 50 pounds bags of concrete. I know what it's like to use the body. And so, congratulations if you wore out your hips, is what my girlfriend said, because you're living life, you're active, you're using your body. And yes, we look forward to what the medical beds can do for us, but why wait? Mark Z says it could be 4 months before we get into the medical beds, after it's announced for NESARA, etc. Why is Mark Z and Wolverine going to North Carolina to a PPN event, and then with Charlie Ward, and then going to Brazil? Is it true Brazil is in tier 4? Is it true that we will reach tier 4 on the 15th through the 20th? Is that true? Things that make us say, And then the public would find out about the RV on the 21st through 25th. So these are very fascinating times. Sheila and Mark both said we would be getting paid the end of April. We are approaching that timeline. We're marching into it. And if you have donated to help us keep Allison fed and in the game with us, I sent out a $5 billion aggro for every $25 donated. This will probably be the last time we announce it and ask for it. That's my dream and vision, is that we're done. We're at the end of the road. The RV, as Sheila had said on Friday night on Mark Z, has been happening, verifying all those posts and tweets or not tweets, Telegram posts by Wolverine, who is saying, trust me, folks, things are happening. And he's just getting ripped apart left and right. That's what the trolls do. So we applaud and praise each truth warrior who has been showing up, turning on your microphone and telling your truth. Everybody has their lane that they are focused on. And of course, we are so excited that the RV is taking place. And the Zimbabwe, the ZIG, not the Zim, that's the old, they had 21 days to get rid of it. Africa has their own banks now. Zimbabwe has their own banks that they're putting money in outside of the corrupt central banking system. They're taking their power back. They have diamonds, they have gold, they have wealth. And this is so amazing. So with the RV already happening, are you ready for it? Are your notes in order? Do you have your 2 pieces of ID? Like a phone bill with your address on it, a PUD with your address on it, and knowing how many of each currency you have, so that when you go to the redemption center, if you have Zim, you may or may not need an NDA. We're told that if you just have regular foreign currency and not the Zim, the 100T, the 50T, 20T, 10T, that you won't need it. And you have options when you go to revalue your Zim notes in order to participate in some of the humanitarian funds. You don't have to make any decisions at that time. You can think on it. You can say, I would like to have the option to come back and address that. Sheila says you're not going to be negotiating rates like other people, some have told us in the past. She says, no, they're doing the cleanup, through the whales and the bondholders. And I don't believe for a moment that the bondholders haven't been paid. This is a rollout. This is a timed event so that everything reaches its crescendo together. The thought of World War III, the stock market collapse, all of these things are coming to a head, and we are ready for the boom. Okay, Cam says, wait, I thought Zim was the old. Zig is the new. Correct. Zig is the new. So they have 21 days to return the Zim, and the new Zig already has gone up to, gosh, I thought it was like $17 versus 17 to 1 with the United States fiat dollar, fake fiat dollar. So the Zig is their new currency, and they have denominations up to 200. The Zim is what we're exchanging. So that's where we're at. And let's see. Oh, I love this. Doug says chemo is poison, and I'm surprised anybody survives the protocol. Amen. It is poison. I've said this many times, and I'll say it again. I was on my when did I buy that? 2004 with some cash I made on a real estate investment opportunity that I found and brought some other people into it and paid cash for my Harley. And I was riding it one day with my husband. We stopped in at this gas station, and there were two newspaper headlines right there side by side. One was the Seattle Post-Intelligencer and one was the Seattle Times. And they said the handlers, the caretakers, the nurses, et cetera, who were handling chemotherapy were handling chemo, were getting cancer themselves. So this is what I've collected over 35 years of watching commercials on television. Follow the money. All of Big Pharma's products, that is the dirty cabal. They use that money for nefarious reasons. And it's not to make you healthy and well. If they did, they would be teaching and educating on nutrition in colleges. They don't. The doctors get 2 hours of nutrition. And if you look at a lot of the doctors, all you have to do is look at their health and the condition that they're in. Are they healthy and well? I like to go and follow doctors who aren't drinking Pepsi. I had a homeopathic doctor in 1988, and that's what she would do. She would drink Pepsi all day long, and it was just like there was a disconnect going there. I started going to a naturopathic doctor because I checked myself into outpatient treatment for alcohol and drug addiction. And with that, checking myself in, their protocol was that we needed to take, oh my goodness, what is that called? Antabuse. So Antabuse is a capsule you take, and it also has an adverse reaction if you ingest alcohol. It'll make you very sick. So here I am. I'm a health nut, drunk, right? Not drunk every day, but I couldn't stop every night. The drinking and the cocaine, etc. Not every night on cocaine. Please don't miss. But those were the things that I had glaring at me in the mirror. And so I said, do I have to take this Antabuse? I don't know what's in it. So yeah, I do sound pretty funny, right? And she said, let me look in my PDR. And Antabuse wasn't even in the PDR. And one day I was spraying hairspray on my hair, and it went on my ear, and it completely inflamed. It swelled up. It turned red. It was terrible. So the natural healers, all of you who are interested in alternative health, holistic health, you're in the right place, because that's where we're moving in the new revolution, the health revolution. We're not going to be seeing these toxic, harmful protocols used anymore. Even Suzanne Summers denied chemotherapy, but she said yes to radiation. And she regretted it ever since, because she was left with this challenge in her chest and in her throat, esophagus, etc. So we need to be discerning. We need to find the healers, the practitioners who are taking care of themselves. How can we, it's like heal thyself, doctor, and do no harm. There's a great book out called Do No Harm, and that's where I recognized and learned how, and I knew it intuitively because I've never had a breast mammogram. My husband's never had a prostate exam. Hell, he hasn't even been to the doctors in well over a decade. But these exams are looking for a problem that can be prevented and cleared up. Prostate exams, they are castrating our beautiful young sons, making them infertile and sterile, and our daughters too. This is not okay with me. They are trying to depopulate us down to 500 million per their great reset. They're not getting away with it. We're taking our power back, people. We need to band together. We need to be talking about the alternative health protocols. And it's so important that you know that you have the power to pray, to meditate, to get grounded in nature, to put your toes in the sand like Mark Z did again, and to feel the energy of the earth rising up through your feet, moving up through your chakras, your meridians, and out and through your pineal gland. Well, it can come from the head down to the earth, and it's reciprocal. It goes like this. It's like, and when we open that pineal gland, stop the fluoride treatments, clean our water up so we're not getting fluoride that they're putting in our water, we will be lit up like Christmas trees. You'll feel it in your body. I see so many people start to make that transition. They feel good. They release weight. They build muscle tone. They're on fire. The testimonies are incredible. And then they relapse. And they relapse like I did with my husband. We relapsed on cinnamon rolls or breads or whatever. We can't have those when you're an addict to carbohydrates. We need to have a community to connect with and get support from and take a stand. We stop whining and we start growing. We've got the power. No matter who you are not a victim. Ask Spirit, ask your higher power. Help me to take my power back over this addiction in this moment. Thank you. And begin every day with gratitude, because gratitude lights up your tissues and cells. When we start out talking about our problems and high drama and all of that BS, all the noise is filling our heads and consuming us. And so we detox our mind. We take a break. We get centered and grounded. We connect with a high vibe community. Because you know why? The people who helped me were the ones that I came crawling and crying to. Oh my gosh, my mom, my brother, my mom, my husband, my mama, me. And you in those communities were the ones who lifted me up, who told me that I am worthy of love and that I could do this one precious day at a time. Sometimes it's one precious sacred moment at a time. And until we learn, it's like when we learn something, especially women are just like wired for relationships, wired for communication, and wired to tell people, look what I found, look what works. When we get a community, it's the learn one, do one, or apply one principle or practice, and then we teach one. And we need everyone. There's no one above you, no one below you. That comparison is, and this is what I used to do. She's so much smarter. She knows so much more than me, or he does. I will never be like them. No, you will never be like anyone else, because you are a divine creation from the Creator. And when you accept that, like I accepted it, and you look at your child pictures when you're a little child, and you come back to that child and you say, I'm protecting you and taking care of you with Spirit, with God, with Source, whatever names. I'm non-denominational. If you're speaking to yourself with love and kindness, and you practice bringing that into the world, and stop putting down other people, there's no need to. Just honor yourself. Doesn't matter what's going on out there around you and anybody else's lives. You protect your sensitive, emotional body, mind, your mental mind, and empower yourself. Listen to daily positive inspiration things. We would love to put so much more positivity on here, and we will, because right now it's important to me to help educate, and it's important to Allison to help educate. That's why she puts up all those videos. And then you can pass it on. You're the teacher, the leader, the educator, the news in your tribe, your family, your community. And it's challenging. We know what it's like when people still have the cotton in the ears. It's time to take it out and put it in our mouths so we can hear the truth, feel the truth. You know, intuition, remember that. Intuition comes to us through different ways. Through a thought, it's like, ooh, where'd that come from? Through a feeling. You have truth bumps on your skin. Comes through us through emotions. We need to purge that anger and resentment so that it doesn't live in our tissues and cells. And then we can hear. Sometimes I hear a voice and it'll say Nancy, and I'll turn around and there's nobody there. You ever had that happen? Through the song that's playing on the radio, through an email that you might get from somebody. And, you know, so we have claircognizance. That's when you know something. You can't prove it as fact, but you know what you know. Many of us are using our claircognizance right now. Do we trust this information is true? Does it land in our body? Clairvoyant, someone who has clear visions. I can sit anywhere and start seeing a download of information to put into a course, create a course. I've done it in Hawaii, sitting in the hot tub. I created a course just sitting there receiving the download. Hawaii is a magical place, everybody. If it's not on your dream board, I hope it will be. And, you know, then we have clairaudience. I was talking about that, clear hearing. Yes, I'm deaf in this ear. That's why I wear these headphones, because I can hear clearly in this ear. And claircognizance, clairvoyance, clairsentience. That's when you feel it in your body. Women, why are there so many more women who've woken up than men? Bless you, men. Congratulations, men. We need you, and you have brought us much information. And yet, if you look at the numbers, it's more women, because more women are intuitive. Men are intuitive. They have a lot of men have that bridge brain where they have the divine masculine and then they have their inner knowing and their connection to spirit. So when we're connected, then we can share with you the benefits of that connection. And you, when you're connected, you can share with us your downloads and information. It's so powerful. And nothing lights me up more than getting a phone call than like from Michelle, who says, I want to learn more about how you do what you speak about in your book. And I said, nothing pleases me more than to be able to bring that information to you. In January of 2021, I had a global dream board event, and there was over 100 women on that call. And I was getting ready to launch Infinite Wisdom, the Divine Within You. And then all hell broke loose with the election fraud. They didn't pass the electorals. They didn't look at it. It was a complete rigged election by people who either sold their souls or were part of being blackmailed. There were goods against them, etc. And now that we know what we know to be true, because we were watching it. If you didn't watch Tuesday's show, we go over the admiral, the generals, and the people who will get a hero's welcome. I hope at some day that we're going to see, and I think Trump promises this too, we are going to see the most incredible parades and celebrations. And yes, we're still going to see some stuff go on that isn't going to feel good. And that's where we need to stay calm, grounded, and detached from those results. Okay, T-Mac, good to see you again, Z65. What I always say, the best thing about discovering you're no better than anyone else is the discovery that no one's better than you. That's so beautiful. Thank you. And Tammy, aloha, Tammy. Thank you for posting truth. I know as soon as all this is over, we're going to go back to our positivity posts and all the wonderful healing teachings, and it's coming soon. Thank you. And we're looking forward to seeing what you have too, Tammy. That's amazing. I love it. Yeah, Fox News was in on it, Cam. Yes, we watched, didn't we? Who was that man? He used to be on with Shannon Breen. And when he came out and called Arizona, I think it was Arizona, or maybe it was Nevada, and he called that, I about dropped my jaw. I went, oh my gosh, traitor, Fox News. Oh. So we have all the truth. We're just waiting for it to play out into the however it's going to come, whether it's an EVS or the news media start reporting it. I don't care. I'm just ready. Are you? I'm so ready. All right. So with that, Miss Allison, did you have anything else to share?
Just how much I love everybody's here, loving you, how much we get to help people. If there are questions we don't get to, always remember you can just send an email to nancy@nancykerner.com or to the website or in Telegram. We're all over the place as much as we can be, or they'll let us. YouTube is still chipping away at pieces, but we're going to keep pushing back as much as we can.
Yes, we
So
are.
thank you to all the donations. I am so grateful. I never, this is new for me. Okay. I've been an entrepreneur for a long time, but this is just totally off the path for me. Just flying solo. I was just telling one of the others in chat, I moved here and didn't have a real job, but I got the rental. Didn't know how I was going to take care of it, but I did it. And it's all because, like you were saying, you got to have community. You have to have that, or you'll lose your mind in a little bit at a time. But we're glad everybody's here. Thank you all for everything you've contributed. Comments, donations, doesn't matter. I appreciate you. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Allison. So one of the things that I do with everyone that I meet, and Allison is no exception, and I did it with her, is I ask people to write down how much you would like to make a month. And before she told me a number, and we wrote down her intentions on that. And that was before we knew that she would end up building this last website of mine and being the producer of the show. We had no idea. And so we paid her almost what she had written down. And we are so blessed and grateful that we have you supporting the channel in whatever way you can. Please know that one day money is not going to be an issue for any of us. And like Curly said, he saw how much people are going to be getting. And somebody in the chat asked him, how much, Curly? And he said, you will never have to worry about money again, or something like that. Don't quote me. And it's true. Money won't be an issue. And that's kind of a stretch for a lot of people to think. How come money won't be an issue? Well, because we've had the resources under our feet, all around us, all this time, but the cabal took it to keep us enslaved, disempowered, sick, and tired, and giving up, not wanting to. I know so many well-educated people who believe more in that piece of paper that they got and less in what they are. Oh, what was I going to say on that? Wow, I was really leading into something there. Pardon me. So if you get a piece of paper that says that you are accredited and you have initials after your name, how many hours did you spend learning that one thing? And those of us who have been studying, because there's a quote, you're an expert when you've spent 10,000 hours or more studying a topic. So these people who are giving their paper, all their power, what's that going to be worth when the entire college system is called out and taken down? Redone? We know our entire educational system has been a brainwashing experiment. And when you're not relying on people from, the American Medical Association or Society or whatever to tell you how to stay healthy, when you are listening and trusting to the experts who've spent their time working with people, helping them to get well, and, sharing their wisdom, you know, they're not going to be the ones that we go to. Dr. Christiane Northrup gave her medical degree back, not her degree, her license to practice, pardon me. She didn't want it anymore. It was worth nothing to her because you know why? These people did not take a stand for us to have a choice over whether we get this or not. I was in tears one day, worried that the FEMA in Washington State was going to round up my granddaughters and not let them in school. I mean, this was the scare tactics they gave to us. Thankfully, Phil calmed me down and let me know, no, that's not happening. Trust me, that is not happening. And I'm forever grateful. Okay, so I think I see something from Clearly Truth. I started calling them gratitudes and give thanks every time I get to pay one. LOL. Helps a lot too. It's all going away soon.
That was in response to someone, I believe it was Kim, talking about freaking out or not wanting to sit down and pay bills, had a real icky feeling. And I have that as well, believe me. Sometimes I have no idea where rent's going to come from. But I have learned through you and what you've shared with me, Nancy, and doing the, laying it out. And like you said, we did that together. And it just makes a huge difference when you have intentions and then you don't know how. The how is not our business,
Yes,
right?
that's right.
That's what's so hard
That's
for
right.
me. But that was just in response, just fine.
Beautiful, beautiful point. Thank you. Yes, I learned early on in recovery, every day is gratitude day. What are you grateful for? I'm grateful for the gift of life. I'm grateful for my family and for you because you give me purpose. And if without purpose, I would be what we call a problem. I would be creating problems. And then I went to the relationship seminars with Sterling groups and stuff, and I learned about being a no problem woman. A no problem woman or man is not a person that doesn't have problems. It's that we seek higher guidance and grounding, and we know to move into gratitude. Grateful first. I am grateful for, let me just close with a gratitude. How does that sound? I am grateful for all the prosperity and abundance that's coming to you in the future. This future the gap is shortening with every day. And may you use your resources to help those around you who are less fortunate. May you lean into the gratitude of discovering your higher purpose. I trust Spirit to show me my purpose. Affirm it. Light a candle, just like I do every day. Light a candle. Get grounded in peace. And then go into writing down bullet points. I see myself, or you know how I do it is I write down as many as will flow out of me. I am grateful for receiving the abundance and prosperity to buy my dream retreat home. I am grateful to have the funds to purchase the products that I choose to heal and restore my beautiful body mind. I am a grateful, open receiver of all the love that my heart is craving and desires. And I see myself receiving it now in this divine, precious, sacred moment. And so it is. Amen. Hallelujah. Thank you, God. However you want to do it, it's an affirming. You would be surprised that this ritual can change your life, starting every day with your gratitudes, managing your mind frick of problems, and becoming a no problem person. My name's Nancy. I'm a grateful recovering alcoholic, and I am a no problem woman. I am a powerful co-creator with you, moving into this divine new world together. Locking angel wings, swimming in the ocean, observing from the beach in whatever way is meant for you is your path. And I look forward to meeting you again in person, on the phone, through the emails, and getting to know you better as we co-create this global community that Spirit told me in early 2000, in the early 1990s. How long, when I asked the question, you can ask questions, ask and it is given. Spirit, how long will this take me to live my purpose? And the response I heard immediately and clearly was decades. So what do? We don't wait for decades. We get busy. We get busy cleaning and sweeping our own porch and our inner body, mind, and spirit. And I'm so grateful that you have stayed on to listen to this all the way to the end. And I look forward to seeing you in the ethers of love, compassion, harmony, peace, and prosperity in all of the world through Nasara Jasara, and all wars are done. And so it is. I love you. Aloha.
Reminder from the universe. There will always be more to do, more growth, more healing, more errands, more cleaning, more. Take a moment today to simply be wherever you are. Just breathe. Celebrate how far you've come, how much you've already achieved. Celebrate your strength, your resilience, your compassion, your grace, your effort. Stop thinking about all the things you still have to do without stopping every so often to think about all that you've done. Celebrate it all. Celebrate you.
The things that make you happy, go do those things. Like right now. What are you waiting for? Go!
I hope you enjoyed today's show. You can find me at nancykerner.com, on social media, and remember the truth about you. You are a powerful and prosperous person.
Are you tired of all the pills in your medicine cabinet? I'm Linda Bamber Olson, the creator of the Wave Watch, a more natural approach with 1,000 frequencies for mind and body. You've got to hear some testimonies from people just like you. I absolutely love this Wave Watch. It has helped me with occasional aches, cramps in my muscles. I twisted my knee a month ago, and the Wave Watch has helped tremendously with the pain while healing. And how about this one from Debbie in Colorado? My left leg was hurt bad enough that I would cry when walking to the doctor. Doctor appointments are $170, and chiropractic sessions were $45 many times for the last 2 years. My hands and neck are stiff. My leg quit throbbing within 5 minutes of the session for bursitis, and 2 hours later, still no pain. Are you tired of all your pills and endless trips to the pharmacy? Why not try the Wave Watch with 1,000 different self-care ideas and put your mind at ease? It's the world's first sound frequency therapy watch. Wave Watch is not connected to the internet. There are no messy cords and patches. There's no monthly fee. It's very simple, easy self-care. And best of all, people are comparing it, saying it's like a med bed on your wrist.
To order your Wave Watch, go to wavewatch.com and be sure to use the discount code Nancy100 at checkout to receive $100 off your order today.